I just go on to say I appreciate the time you have spent to understand the challenging time between contract acceptance and close, and I wanted you to understand these potential problems for the following reasons. A transaction can't close until I have cleared up any and all of the previously mentioned problems. Two, to let you know that I have great experience in heading off these potential pitfalls, and thus can hopefully make you feel more secure in that you chose the correct broker. Three, to make these pitfalls clear to all parties we are working with so that problems can be discovered early. Four, to make you aware of these pitfalls so that you can warn me of any potential problems and aggressively comply with any requested information to cure those problems. Once again, congratulations on your sale or purchase. Please be assured that I'm always available to you. Sincerely, Walter. Now, I got to tell you guys, when you send that little puppy to a for sale by owner and letting them know what kind of challenges they have, when you have that in a listing presentation as a reason why you earn the commission you earn, a lot of you guys got my checklist book. When you show them the checklist book as to how you overcome all these items, when you show them a good opening checklist and a closing checklist, I got to tell you guys, it's very compelling to a client. And now let's have the reality break. Most of the stuff on that program, on that email, never happened. So what does the client think after close? That I cured it all. That I'm the god of real estate. And they tell their family and friends that this was a heck of a transaction, and thank goodness we had Walter. And building the perception early on, just like outperforming your promises at a listing presentation, well, this is the opposite. Telling them how bad things could get. And then when things don't get bad, they assume you fixed them. It is time in this industry that we start telling people why we make the money we make and what we do. Right there are 100 potential problems that have kept many of you on this call up at night. And the clients have no idea. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a lot easier to get that 7.5% commission, and it's going to be a lot easier for sell by owners to understand why they pay you. And, after close, clients are going to start respecting exactly what you do to get a transaction through. Okay? Give me some more objections, you guys. What have you been doing? How have you been talking to these clients and these buyers and these sellers, and they put you off? They put you off very well sometimes. Now remember, objections coming from a non-motivated client might not be worth spending the time trying to overcome. But what I'm worried about is objections coming from a great client. That's what really separates the men from the boys. So give me some more objections, you guys, back from your from being in the trenches this last week.
A for sale by owner that was FISBO and then listed with an agent and is now FISBO again, and feels that, knows that she got more showings as a for sale by owner than she did when she listed with an agent. So why should she list with a real estate company?
So we got more activities of for sale by owner than he did with an agent. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, I've got to tell you that happens quite often, and I need to ask you, first of all, not all agents are the same. So first of all, I need to go over my customized marketing program with you. On that type of a situation, I would try to get my presentation made so they could actually see that my marketing plan was much more. And by the way, on the last webinar, we're going to be going over a listing presentation from beginning to end, so that you guys can understand that we can put in 387 services in there if that's what this FISBO actually wants. So what I would do is, Mr. Johnson, Mrs. Johnson, not all agents are the same. Many of them have different marketing plans. I'd like to find out what your goals are. I'd like to then customize a marketing plan to achieve those goals. What time could we meet so that I could show you a plan that would actually beat a for sale by owners program? You see, Mr. Johnson, if your agent wasn't able to beat your program, meaning your program being Sign, maybe Craigslist, and maybe a for sale by owners site, you see, I'm gonna I'm going to have at least another 50 avenues in which to market your property. So what you're telling me, Mr. Johnson, is that you're better than your agent, and I've got to tell you quite honestly, that's possible. So what time could we meet? So, I'm a great believer, and between you and I, you understand that for sale by owners always get more showings, and you guys understand why that is, right? Because you have a buyer trying to save the same commission that the seller is. So you can tell them that. Well, Mr. Johnson, the reason for your activity is that you're attracting buyers trying to save the same commission that you're trying to save, which means that if you have it priced too low, they're going to still deduct the commission amount that they know you're saving. So, Mr. Johnson, let's see if we can't get a professional marketing program together that attracts motivated buyers who've been pre-approved, that aren't trying to save a commission, that have a true need to actually buy the property, that have gone through me first before I waste your time with them. What time's more convenient? 5 or 5:30. Now, one of the things that I get a lot of questions on, especially from this group, is, well, they said this to me on the phone. What happens when I'm talking to a seller lead and they say, well, I am not going to pay a 6% commission. Well, you guys remember there's a time and a place for everything. And the time and the place for discussing commissions is not on the phone prior to a listing presentation. So you need to go ahead and make sure they understand that is something that's not really going to be a problem. Well, gee, Mr. Johnson, I don't know of any transactions that haven't closed because of my commissions. Let me ask you a few questions, sir, so I can start putting together a customized marketing plan to achieve your goals. Now, do you see how we didn't talk about commissions? Because you can't ask for commissions until they know what the heck you're going to do, which means that's a listing presentation. So there's a time and a place for everything. One of the great things that you could write down and remember is whenever you're talking to a seller on the phone prior to a presentation, you only have two goals. In a hot market, you only have one goal, and that is to get the appointment. In a tougher market, you have two goals, and that is, number one, to get the appointment and to determine motivation. Well, you guys all got my seller questions, and with the seller questions, you're going to find that we can actually. Oh boy, we got a lot of feedback coming back now. There we go. And you're gonna get with the seller questions, you're going to determine through those questions not only what their hot buttons are, so you can design your presentation to address those, but you're also going to determine whether or not there is a motivation there. All right? Well, super. Okay, any more objections, you guys? That was a great objection on the for sale by owner. For sale by owners, now, the reason we talked a lot, next week we're going to talk about affiliate-sponsored systems. One of the reasons I have gone to having my lender contact for sale by owners is because that, having agents call them up in this market and tell them that you'd like to extract 6 or 10 grand from them to achieve their goals is a hard sell. When they think they're capable of going for sale by owner. So I like to have that lender, like we discussed in a seminar, at least tenderize them a little bit before we go in for the kill. Okay, give me some other objections, you guys.
Walter?
Yes?
When you have a listing that's expiring and they're questioning whether they want to continue with you because you haven't brought it.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. Can you get closer to the mic? I can't hear you.
You have a listing that's going to expire. You haven't brought in a successful transaction at this point or buyer. Why would they want to extend the listing with you and your company?
That's outstanding. So let's start at the very beginning. Was it priced right? Did we make a listing presentation that you showed them what a true net worth was? What a true net sheet was. And the minute you discovered what it was overpriced, did you tell them it was overpriced? And then did we call them once a week? Or at minimum, did we call them once every 2 weeks? You see, this could be as simple as taking an overpriced listing and then not following through and having a seller who's mad at you. Now, that could be one item.